Today we're going to make Shrimp Fajitas Veracruz Style, and try to do it the very easy way. There's a couple of cheats in here. It has quite a few things that go in it, as you can see, so you might want to jot these things down or rerun the video afterwards. Got my shrimp here. These are peeled and deveined shrimp that my local store has occasionally. Huge time saver. If you can't get the peeled and deveined, at least make sure you get the deveined shrimp, because peeling shrimp is a pain in the ass, but deveining them is an even bigger pain. These are tail on. So I'm going to be taking these tail off, and they're very large, so I'll probably cut them in half or even a little smaller. But again, if you can find the peeled and deveined, it's a lot less work. Okay, here's the big cheat. Fajita vegetables. Every supermarket has these now. They're cut fresh daily. This is going to save you a full half hour of knife work. It's a great time saver. That's one big cheat. Now, we've got some Kalamata olives. These are already sliced. Some jalapenos. All this is from Mezzetta. They're a really, really good company from the Napa Valley. They make all kinds of olives and stuff like that there. Their stuff is high quality. It's great. I recommend it. I am not sponsored by them. This is what I use and this is what I recommend. These are tamed jalapeno peppers. They're already sliced, so they're not very hot. Remember, if you ever handle a jalapeno or a chili or anything, wash your hands very thoroughly, twice. You don't want to touch your eye. These are Castelvetrano olives. These are maybe hard to come by where you live. They really make a difference in this. They're really nice, buttery olives. They're not very salty. If you can't find them, you can use regular Queen Spanish olives, but soak them in clear water for overnight and get some of the salt and the brine out of them. Capers, same thing. If you can find these in the large jars, they're a big money saver. A lot of supermarkets will sell you a jar that's 1/3 of this size for twice the price. So if you can find these large Mezzetta jars, it's great. One can, I think this is 28 ounces. No, 14.5 ounce can of diced tomatoes. We're going to drain these, okay? They're in juice, but we're going to drain them. A little bit of olive oil, salt. For those who watch me, I use the low salt as much as possible. Pepper, a little chili powder, and a little garlic powder. Totally optional for these is some sour cream. If you want to make them taco style instead of fajita style, that works great too. And some shredded cabbage, which is very traditional in Mexican cooking. And you can also use coleslaw mix, which ups the flavor a little bit. But this will be for the end. Again, it's optional. Some people don't like cabbage. So we're now going to take these shrimp. I'm going to cut them up and do a quick little marinade on them. You want to go ahead now and preheat your oven to 425 degrees. One thing I did leave off at the beginning is some lime juice. Before you get down on me, this is real lime juice. It is refrigerated. It is not from concentrate. It's convenient to have around, and I don't like squeezing limes. So we're going to make a quick little marinade here for the shrimp. Some lime juice, a little bit of salt, some black pepper, garlic powder, and a little bit of chili powder, if I can get it open. There we go. Okay. We're just going to mix that up. My good old Italian wooden spoon. Give that a good mix and we'll set that aside. It only has to marinate a couple of minutes. By the time we get the other vegetables going, this is the last thing to go in. That marinade is going to help. And we are about ready to start the cooking process. Okay, so we're going to start with an oven-safe pot or a skillet, whatever you want to call it, that has a lid. Just a little bit of olive oil. That's all you need because we're putting a lot of olives in here, so they're going to release their own oils. Go over medium-high heat. We're just going to put these vegetables in here. This is such a tremendous time saver. And you see you've got a beautiful collection of green, red, yellow peppers, onions, yellow onion, and red onion. It's an amazing, amazing time saver. So we're going to just mix these around a little bit, let some of that oil get on them. Now, let them cook until they start to soften. For purposes of time, I'm not going to make you watch that, but they're going to need to cook for about 5 to 6 minutes over medium-high heat until the vegetables start to soften, and then we will add in the olives and other things. Okay, so these have been cooking for a few minutes. Don't worry about the discoloration of the pan. It's because I'm using white enamel, and the presence of the peppers and the red onions are doing that. Nothing to be concerned about. So here we have the Castelvetrano olives, which I've given a rough chop. So we're going to put those in. The jalapeno, which I've also given a chop. This depends on how much and how hot you want it. I don't like this to be super hot, so your mileage may vary. This is maybe a large tablespoon of jalapenos chopped. They go right in there. Now we're going to turn this down to medium heat. Have capers. I have to find a spoon. I'm going to go in with, I happen to like capers, so I'm going with 2 big spoonfuls. And then you want to get a little bit of that caper brine in there. Finally, Kalamata olives. These are pre-sliced, so they're going to go in there. Again, that's about 2 heaping tablespoons, maybe 3. Depends on how much you like Kalamata olives. I'm going to turn this down to a fairly low temperature and just let this all cook together a little more. And yes, I am going to use garlic powder. Just a little bit of garlic powder. Garlic is not supposed to be a signature part of this dish. Okay, so let's cook for a while like that. I put the lid on and let this cook for about 3 minutes. These have been cooking for about 2 or 3 minutes. By the way, Lodge brand, Lodge. If you ever want to buy cast iron, they're the best. Lifetime warranty. This is enameled cast iron. It's great stuff for cooking. Just don't use metal utensils unless they have plastic or rubber tips. because it's very easily scratched. What I'll have to do after I cook this is I'll have to bleach the interior of this to get rid of those black marks. So now ready and go our tomatoes, which have drained. Just throw that in. Some salt. Remember, you can always add more salt later, but you can't take it out. So don't get too heavy with it. All right. We have our shrimp, which have been marinating. Give them another toss here. I'm going to stir them in. And that is it. I'm going to put the lid back on, and then we're going into a 425 degree oven for 20 minutes, or until the shrimp are fully cooked. You'll be able to tell by the color. So let's get this in the oven and we'll be back in 20 minutes. Okay, so we're now out of the oven after 20 minutes. Have a look here. Shrimp look like they're pretty much done. I'm going to leave them sit here. Leave it sit for 2 more minutes just to cook it through, just to be on the safe side. And then we should be all done. Right now, I'm about to take a couple of tortillas and put them on the sheet pan in the oven for just 2 or 3 minutes to warm them through. Give the sheet pan a little spray of oil. And then we should be ready to plate up. So here we have it plated up. Some tortillas that we warmed up, some sour cream with a little bit of cayenne on it for color and for a little heat, some shredded cabbage, and the shrimp fajitas. Don't let the dark color throw you off. It's because of the Kalamata olives. This is quite delicious. If you've enjoyed this video, please, and by the way, let me step back a moment. You could make this without the shrimp if you are allergic or don't like seafood. I would say use some boneless, skinless chicken breasts. Cut them into small pieces, maybe give them a little bit of a saute before you put them in the oven. That would be an option with this. But if you like this video, please give it that thumbs up. Hit that red subscribe button, click the bell next to it, so you'll be notified when new videos go up. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon. Bye.